Hello friends, welcome to all of you. Myself Dr. Venkatesh Gopala, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at Anandibai Rao Arts, Commerce and Science College by Bhavadi. Friends, in this lecture we will see the topic that is sampling. Okay, so this is lecture number 1 on the sampling. In this chapter we will try to cover the introduction, sampling of solids, sampling of liquids, and the sampling of gases. But particularly in this video we will see introduction of sampling, purpose of sampling, significance as well as the importance of sampling, and lastly the difficulties in the sampling. Let's start one by one. Sampling is a process used in statistical analysis in which a predetermined number of observations are taken, or you can say the collected, from a large population. The method used to collect the sample from a large population depends upon the type of analysis which is going to be performed. But it may include the simple random sampling or systematic sampling. A sample refers to a smaller, or you can say the manageable version of a larger group. It is a subset containing the characteristics, or you can say the properties of a larger group or population. The samples are used in statistical testing when population sizes are too large for the test to include all possible observations. Okay, so samples are those which are used in statistical testing when the population size are too big, okay, to test the which include all possible observations. So the obtained sample is then analyzed and the results are then used for the original material from which the sample was produced. So this is all about the introduction of the sampling. Now let's see some examples of samples. Now in the first example, you can see in a larger population, the few people are selected and they are called as samples. Okay, so this sample collection or the set of the 5 members are selected as a sample, okay, to take some feedback or you can say the survey from them. The next example is a collection of water from a lake, from a river, or you can say any type of a dam or water sources. Okay, so this type of collection, small amount of water is called as the sample. Okay, a water sample from the sources of water, then it is tested for different types of test. Okay, such as to check the pH or hardness of water, etc. Okay, so such a small amount of water from different sources is called as a sample. The next example for the sample is a melting point. In laboratory, generally we perform the melting point to check the physical characteristics of that particular unknown compound. So for that purpose we generally take very small amount of a compound in a capillary tube, okay, and perform the melting point. Okay, so this is a one also the example for the sample, okay, in which we take small amount of compound for the melting point. The next example for sample is the blood group test. Okay, generally to have the blood group test we require only a drop of blood for the analysis. Okay, so this is nothing but the example of a sample in which we can have the blood group test, we can perform the blood group test. Okay, so these are the all the examples. The first purpose of sampling, that is judging the acceptability. Generally a sample is collected because we want to know whether the material from the population through which the sample is collected meets the requirements such as purchase or sell specifications. To meet these requirements, the sample must accurately represent the whole quantity under consideration. Generally, more than one sample is needed, and the analysis must be performed on each of the samples that are collected. But sometimes the combine of two or more samples are made for analysis. In such cases, samples are to be combined in the proper portions so that to get better results and consistent with a known, or you can say the expected population of a bulk material. So this is all about the purpose of sampling, that is judging the acceptability. The next purpose of sampling is detecting the contamination. It must be ensured that the sample from population or bulk material under consideration is from free of contaminants. Consider foreign matter is suspended in a sample which is collected from the bottom of a container. In the second case, when an easily oxidizable material is exposed to air which is collected from the surface of the container. In the both cases, the probability of detecting the contamination is definitely increased along with obtained uh, true representative samples. So it is necessary to take a representative sample first, followed by samples as needed to ensure the absence of contamination. So this is all about the second purpose of sampling, in which we have seen that material under consideration should be free from contaminants. The third purpose of sampling is to identify the unknown material. Carefully collected samples can be used to establish the identity of a bulk material under considerations. So this is all about all the purposes of a sampling, in which we have seen the judging the acceptability, the second one the detecting the contamination, and the last one the identifying the materials. Now let's see the significance and importance of a sampling. The sample which is analyzed and get results which are used for the bulk material. This will be possible only if the sample represents the bulk in totality. The representation between the two, that is a sample as well as the bulk material, should be 100%. All the properties of a bulk material should be present in the sample. That's why the process of sampling becomes important. Suppose a sample is homogeneous, in that case the less problem may be occurred, whereas if the sample is heterogeneous, then the problem in obtaining the representative sample may be too much. So it is necessary to obtain the sample in a proper and scientific manner. Suppose the sampling process is not scientific, in that case the confidence that the sample represents the bulk will automatically get reduced. So at the end we can say that the reliability and reproducibility of analytical method will not be of any use if there is no guarantee that the sample is a representative of a bulk material. So this is all about the importance and the significance of the sampling. Now let's see the difficulties encountered in sampling. The sampling procedure can be rather difficult, or you can say the time consuming and expensive. Now these are the following are the common difficulties which are possible while uh, during the sampling. Okay, the first one is a lack of a prior information of sample, then the physical nature of sample and the excessive cost okay, for the sampling process. The first one is the lack of a priority. The initial information about the bulk material with respect to its composition, homogeneity, and characteristics, or you can say the properties, uh, will help a lot in planning the sampling technique to provide a truly representative sample. The next one is the physical nature. In many cases, the physical nature, condition, or you can say the location of material at the time of sampling may not be permit the random selection of units as required. In some cases, it may not be feasible economically. Hence, those units do not possess any equal chance being included. The last one is excessive cost. The sampling process definitely involves the time, labor, and money. For all angles, if the number of units become too large, the sampling cost also go up. So these are the some common difficulties which are encountered during the sampling. So this is all about in this lecture. We will see in the next lecture. In that we will see the sampling of solids. Thank you for watching.